So we're going to go in 3, 2, 1, go. Hi out there. It's March 28th, 2018, and this is episode 5 of Video Games Were a Mistake, a podcast that gets worse every week. Every week these guys keep showing up, but you know, we keep doing it, so it is what it is.
It's fun.
I've got Kryptinite with me.
Which box am I? Am I in the third box? Second?
You're in the middle box.
Yes.
You're the sandwich. You're the cream in the sandwich. And he's frozen, which is great. And we've got Ian Boudreau.
Hello. How's it going, guys?
Going well. It's going well.
Going great. Good. How you guys been? What have you been up to?
Well, I've shared with you guys already, but I've been playing a lot of Hearthstone.
A lot of Hearthstone.
Yes. Hearthstone.
Robo, man.
Yeah, I kind of lost that one.
Yeah, we kind of lost that. That's
man.
Right. One more time. Let's hear it again.
So I've been playing Hearthstone, and it's my new addiction of the week, flavor of the week, as I like to say. It hasn't taken over Vermintide, but I can play this at work, and nobody knows what I'm doing. It looks like I'm sending out emails, so it's pretty good.
Perfect. I was super into
curl your phone periodically.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like.
I'm like,
he's doing this at work.
Yeah,
you know, he's doing
hold on, guys.
Like,
swipe, and every once in a while,
really
fuck.
Well on the podcast, but this is, you know, like that with the phone, like cradled. Damn.
Anyway,
yelling at people. It's funny.
I got stuck in a snowbank last night.
Oh my god.
Yep. Well, it wasn't a snowbank, but I dropped a friend off at his place, and he has kind of like a U-shaped driveway. And I decided to pull out the other way from the way that I'd come in, just pull forward all the way through. Anyway, I went through the snow, got stuck. It was 1 a.m, and we had to call a tow truck. So that was fun.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
That sucks.
The wonders of living in the Great White North. It's great.
No thanks. As you're talking to two like basically born and bred Floridians, so we're like,
yeah, man,
tough times.
I should probably explain snow. Yeah, it's
what's up, snow? How does that work?
Yeah,
is that like the icy things you get at 7-Eleven?
I see that in the globes. I shake it up and
right.
Very much. If you take those two concepts and combine them, that's basically what snow is.
Okay, that sounds awesome. I think I'll have some.
The week that it snowed here was the very first time that I've dealt with snow, like in my entire life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like for an extended period. Like I've been in it before, but I've never like had to spend an extended period of time in it. And so I had a week solid of like, what do I do? Where do I go? I don't know how it's...
You just hang out and wait for it to go away.
That's pretty much what I did. Worked from home for a week and just sort of like, here I am. You know?
Nice.
So yeah,
pretty good. A good snowfall when I was down in Raleigh, and everything shut down for the rest of the week. I think nobody was doing anything. But yeah,
that's rough.
Like I like to visit snow, but I don't want to live in it anymore. Yeah. So
that's what.
No, we get to enjoy that stuff all the way through like April most of the time. So
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, silly.
It was
cool.
I spent that week was like I was visiting, you know, right when I was tired of it.
Yeah.
I was gone.
Perfect.
You guys been playing any video games?
Video games?
You play some video games? I know Ian's been playing a video game.
Yeah.
I have.
You've played a lot. You've been like mainlining a video game.
Exactly.
Getting really into that Far Cry 5, you guys.
Oh, no.
I preloaded it and everything, so when it unlocked on midnight Tuesday morning, I was ready to go. And I didn't go to bed until probably 6 or 7 that morning.
Ooh. Jeez.
But I mean, it's kind of nice. I didn't have like a whole lot of stuff scheduled work-wise this week, so I kind of knew that was going to happen. But I'm still kind of dragging from my poor decision making that day. But
or great decision making.
Yeah.
Well, it's been fun. I mean, we can get into it, but no, Far Cry 5. I'm
Yeah.
It's definitely more Far Cry. But there's been some changes to the way that they do Far Cry, apparently, and I think mostly that's good. Mostly.
So I have questions.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions too. But let's start off with like what is so Far Cry 5. This one's different, right? Like setting wise, it's not like feels like all the other ones were on like tropical islands or like somewhere far.
Yeah, the Himalayas or far. Right.
So what's the story with this one?
So here we're set in Hope County, Montana. You're a sheriff's deputy. You fly in to deal with a religious cult called what is Eden's Gate? It's PEG. Now I'm blanking on it, but anyway, religious cult. Doesn't really matter because it's a Far Cry story, and like that's not why we're here, right? Like it's not some kind of these aren't like they look like narrative games, and one of the things that I think Ubisoft kind of invites by having these kind of torn from the headlines sort of settings is people kind of come in expecting something like that, like a story, and then really what it is a dumb shit simulator where you fly around and watch bears attack trucks and blow things up and go wingsuiting, and it's a bunch of silly stuff. I will say, as far as the shooting goes, I mean, this is Far Cry's are FPS, first-person shooters, and I don't think the shooting's ever felt this good.
Nice.
It feels way more like it's always been a little floaty to me, at least in 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And it feels a lot tighter this time around. I think it feels more like Wolfenstein or Doom, like the new.
Nice.
It's not quite there, but yeah, it's much more like that. And I feel like you're a lot more active. It wants you to run around a lot more. And anyway, but I've dug since what you're doing is a lot of shooting, it's good. That's good.
Yeah, so. I mean that's like Destiny, right? Like Destiny, if the shooting was bad, like that game would be terrible. But
nobody would play that game.
But that shooting is real good, and it's fine.
Exactly.
Yep. I always felt that the shooting in Destiny, and I actually agree with you. Far Cry 3 suffered, I thought, from the shooting a lot. I thought like it was very like the guns were too big on the screen to me. Like I don't know. I've always felt that way. Like where the gun just was like. And you
got that huge.
You just got this huge cannon in front of you, and it just I don't know. It felt weird. This one is wild though. So I mean, if you haven't played Far Cry games before, there's like a lot of this equipment building, and you're sort of grinding out these materials by hunting animals, and like I need an ammo pouch, I need a better bullet thing or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, and then you'll have to go and kill like 4 endangered species.
Yep.
So you can carry an extra gun. Like it's weird. Yeah.
That's funny.
Is that still in the game?
That's gone. You can still hunt animals, but but all pelts do now. They're just like merchant goods. You just sell them to whoever. So there's no more of that. You can still craft some stuff like explosives, like explosive arrows and things, but mostly the crafting's gone.
Weird. That's such a weird decision because I feel like that was sort of core.
I think like I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how much I liked the hunting in the last ones. But now that it's gone, I kind of miss it.
It was kind of the only part actually that kept me going in those games.
Oh damn.
Yeah, because like, I mean, after a point, like, especially in the Far Cry games, I always feel like you kind of learn how the bases work. And it's like there's guys, and they're in a base. And there's going to be some guys, and you go around and you tag them all, and then you just kind of watch the patrols, and then you pick them off one by one, right? And there's but generally it's kind of the same loop. Once you figure out how I assault a base, you just assault a base the same way over and over. And for me, it was always that like, oh, you know what? I'm tired of doing these bases or clearing these, checking these things off a map. Now I can quit and go do, make my
some other
arrow
thing,
pouch
yeah.
better, or whatever.
Right.
That's also why I played Red Dead so much. Is Red Dead has that same like go kill these animals or go kill,
Yep.
And
so yeah, if you want to take a break from the main story or the, you can just go and wander around and hunt a, legendary coyote or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there is some of that. Like there in Far Cry 5, you do wind up, instead of the system of XP building, you basically just have a list of things to do that give you perk points. So, you get 10 kills with a shotgun, perk points. You hunt a certain kind of animal, perk points. And so then you get to put those into the where you normally would have your crafting and upgrade system, perk points unlock like your third and fourth weapon slots, for instance, or things like that.
Okay.
And
like
to the
a
point about
talent tree, they've just combined
kind of, yeah.
sort of
Basically, all that's
together.
been collapsed into which is it's not going to set the world on fire with the way they've done that, but what else can I say? Oh, the strongholds, those bases that you assault, those feel way more natural. Like they're different enough now, I think, that they don't feel like this doing the same thing as much. I think that's pretty cool. Enemy AI is kind of like whatever. I mean, it's the same kind of thing where you kind of, like Benson was saying, you kind of tag everything with your binoculars and then either stealth your way through by with the bow and arrow, or you can take a gigantic semi and drive it straight into the middle of everything. And
yes, please.
So I think that's pretty cool. There's also what are called prepper stashes. So everybody's preparing for the end of the world in one way or another, and the people who have been caught up in the reaping that this cult is doing have left these stashes behind, and they're these are replacing towers. There's no more radio towers or bell towers.
Yes.
They actually make a joke about it at the beginning of the game. They have you climb up a radio tower, and the guy's like, "Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to make you go climb up, radio towers all over the place or something dumb like that."
Yeah.
And so they even kind of reference it.
Yeah.
But so instead, you've got these little weird puzzle sections where you kind of go through these like booby trap filled stashes or houses where there's some kind of loot at the end, and you have to figure out a way through. Like one I found, you had to climb up into the second story window in this barn that has a grain elevator, and then there's bees everywhere. Like you have to watch out for wasps' nests and stuff. But they're neat. They're really cool. So. And then I guess, I've seen some other critics have been talking about, the story and how they kind of don't do anything with it, which I think is totally fair. They don't. Again, I think Ubisoft invites these kinds of criticisms, but and they really just kind of walk up to an issue and then just leave it there, and then that's it. It's sort of like if a game were to just constantly reference something like some hot button social issue like abortion or something like that, and then just never actually deal with the concept. So
man, they just pussed out.
That's kind of the thing. Well, this is the way they always are, right? Like they never actually have anything coherent to say. I mean, it's not as if in Far Cry 4 you're set in the Himalayas in a fictional country. I don't think it ever mentions China or like any kind of the political struggles that have happened in the in those regions like Tibet or Bhutan. Right. So I mean that's Far Cry. It's kind of it's dumb shit simulator, like I said, but sort of like with this present day torn from the headlines wrapper around it that it's just confusing more than anything else.
I gotcha. Yeah. That's such a shame because they were really, I thought they were going in. Like I thought, I mean, because they were bringing in media people and basically telling them, look, this is going to be, we're going to have some messages and some things to say. And, they very heavy. And then, man, they just 180'd on it completely.
Yeah, they dialed that back quick.
I feel like marketing always does this too, because this happened with Wolfenstein: The New Colossus as well, where the advertising was like, oh yeah, we're doing this, this. And there's some of the promotional stuff for Far Cry 5 was there's a spot with there's this a black pastor who's sitting in a bombed out church and he's reading from the book of Jeremiah, like, okay, woe be unto he who would lead my flock astray. Right. And he talks about becoming the wolf, and it's the most badass thing I think I've ever seen.
Yeah,
and he's in the game, and he's a really cool character, but there's nothing that's
like I just tossed him, and they're like, we need some marketing material. Let's throw this dude in the game.
Yeah,
pretty
this
much.
Will be controversial.
You think it's gonna go fully Tarantino, and no, not really.
Yeah,
man, that's unfortunate.
I even watched somebody stream the drug part, basically what I think is the drug scene in the game.
There's a couple of those.
Yeah, at least one of them. I watched one of them, and it was just. It was tame for an Ubisoft drug scene. I was like, all right. I mean,
it's weird.
I thought it was going to end in a really interesting way, and then it just totally doesn't. And
man,
I'm
sad to hear that.
But it sure looks good. I could say that.
Yeah,
that game
it's a pretty game.
Beautiful, but man,
it's gorgeous looking, absolutely gorgeous. And the attention to detail is just fantastic. I think there's something very recognizable for me personally, having lived in rural America most of my life. The look of the place feels very authentic to me.
Nice.
So
it's crazy. I used to my dad was in the military, and we lived in Montana for 3 years, and I kind of want to play just for that, just to see if it looks like what I remember Montana feeling like. At first it was for the story, but it sounds like they dropped the ball on that part. So I'm down to play another Far Cry game. I think I might wait for it to drop in price before I pick it up. I still got to get to 4, so I might just play 4 for now and wait on 5.
4 is a great game.
Yep.
That's what I keep hearing.
The pacing of it's weird. I mean, we might have talked about this, but there's almost too much going on.
Oh, really?
As you're going around, you're never not being attacked by eagles or honey badgers, or there's a car crash between rebels and the army or something like that. But it's fun. Yep, I've had a lot of fun with 4.
4 is also much longer.
Is it?
I feel like 4 was 60 hours.
Are you serious?
I feel like I put 60 hours into 4.
Oh, wow.
I could be wrong. It sure felt like 60 hours. I don't know.
Ooh.
I did a lot of the hunting stuff, but I bet the main story is probably short.
Cool.
If you just breeze through the main story.
I'll have to do some research. How Long to Beat is my best friend.
Oh, yeah.
Also, all the menus look like a Cabela's catalog.
They do.
For Far Cry 5.
Does it really?
Everything looks
insane.
Man, that's funny.
So
it's pretty. It looks great. I think that I'm really interested to hear what the co-op of that game is.
Oh yeah, it's full co-op through the whole campaign, isn't it?
It is. However, if you're joining a game, you don't make any campaign progress. Which is dumb.
That sounds bad.
Yeah. The other thing I want to touch on is the I haven't tried it yet, but the Far Cry Arcade.
Yeah.
You can design your own levels, and you can bring in assets from Watch Dogs 2, one of the Assassin's Creeds, I think. So it's going to be real weird, the stuff that people come up with for that. But I'm looking forward to trying it out. So,
is that the only multiplayer aspect of the game? Is the arcade? You go in there and do what you want to do?
Well, okay. So there's the co-op, there's the arcade, and I think there's also PvP.
Gotcha.
But that may be part of the arcade. Suite. I'm not sure.
That makes sense.
We'll see.
Man, they are seriously spending some money on that game, though. The marketing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have literally not turned on a social media channel without seeing a streamer tweeting out that they are streaming at #ad.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a huge percentage of their media budget is
for sure
is streamers. I mean, which is why. I mean, you see this for like games like Fortnite, right? Where you know they have like this multiplayer focused model, but I feel like this is one of the first ones that I've seen like all of it is all streamer stuff. I mean, a huge percentage of it. I feel like half of Twitch was playing Far Cry 5 when it launched.
Probably, yep.
I mean,
did it crack the top 10?
It was number one on
Oh
Twitch.
damn!
Yeah, it was.
Oh wow! Okay, yeah.
I think it was number one.
Probably for a brief shining second, because ever since
I'm sure Fortnite cracked it for a minute, but I feel like it was number one.
That's crazy.
For a while, it was definitely the number one game behind the Fortnite. the multiplayer games for sure for like the entire day. And,
that's crazy.
So it was people are playing it.
That is funny too for primarily. I mean, it is the co-op. We just talked about the multiplayer, but it's primarily a single player game. You just don't normally see those premium priced single player focused games in the top 10 on Twitch. So
they paid a lot of money to get it there. Is all I'll say.
Yeah,
hey, man, like again, if you can pay that kind of money and get your game everywhere, why not? And it clearly is not like it's not a shit product. You know, it's not like they're hawking a bunch of garbage here. You know, so
right? True.
If they had made something that wasn't what they said it was, like if it was like if No Man's Sky had paid like all this money to have it out there, then I would be I'd be like, wow, okay. But this one, no. I mean, there's clear. It's exactly what we thought it was going to be. You know.
True.
And maybe
other than
right.
Not what we hoped, but again, I feel like if you're going into a Cry game expecting them to suddenly be,
conscious,
like going full in on like a with the message or with a coherent politics or something. I mean, maybe look at their back catalog a little bit, because I don't think it's ever happened really.
No,
even the Tom Clancy stuff that actually sort of does have something to say, which is usually not great, but I mean, it's always pretty soft pedaled, right? Like
for sure.
So.
And they're like hard hitting stuff, like the controversial stuff that they put into it is always real. Like you can clearly tell they just didn't think about it, right?
Oh yeah.
Like it's like we just didn't think that the Division is shooting a bunch of guys. I mean, like they just didn't think about it. They just
they're like, now
like,
you point that
everybody
out.
in the snow. Oh, this is kind of, they didn't think about that, right?
Yeah.
So I would almost be more willing to forgive that stuff if they tried. Like if they had went with Far Cry 5 and like really got in there and dug in, I'd be like, you know what, I can forgive some missteps. Like if Sledgehammer misses right when they make the next Wolfenstein. If they just miss, I think it's Sledgehammer that makes those, right?
Is this
Machine Games?
Machine Games. I'm sorry, I'm getting confused. So if Machine Games like misses when they make the next one, and they like, there's some sort of gaffe in it, I'll be like, but they got the first two right, so.
And you cannot accuse them of not going for it.
Because they definitely went for it.
They've got like some built up with me, They got some,
same here.
It's like, all right, it's tough to it's tough to skirt that line and really get in there without. But if you're going to play it safe every single game, the second that you do something wrong, they're going to hammer you.
Exactly.
So it sounds like what they did is I wonder, do you think that maybe the game reflected the marketing more and then they toned it down, or do you think they always played it up?
I think marketing was like, hey, we can play this angle, and the game team, the developers like, no, what are you doing? Stop. That's not what this is about. And then they finally got him in the room like, hey, listen, shut the fuck up. What are you doing?
It's gonna be all right. Don't worry.
Please stop that.
Yeah, because they didn't get off of it, right? Like they
got off it quick, man.
They had that first like reveal with all those games. And then it was just like you never heard another word about Far Cry being like a controversial thing.
We're not talking about anything that's happening in real life right now. It's just in America.
Hand, I can kind of feel like when I'm playing the game, and like there's certain points, because I think you're right, Jermaine. I mean, I'm pretty sure they were like, wait, no, what are you doing? But there's certain points where you can almost see that something's been edited.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, they were gonna have it this way, but somebody came in and decided, no, you're not doing that.
Man, I mean,
so,
what would be the consequence if they went, like, realistically? What would happen if they went?
They might let Vivendi back in. Like, they might have a huge PR nightmare and, like, crash and burn. And
Tencent jumps out and...
Yeah,
like,
what if... That's... If,
we don't want the smoke.
You know what you just said, that actually makes a lot of sense.
It's
like if that Tencent deal is in... Like, I assume that Tencent deal was going for a while, right? But
right.
If that Tencent is like, man, it's almost a lock and we're going to be done with these guys... And it clearly wasn't there last year. So it's like,
for sure.
Last, the like, goodbye, we're done.
Don't let them take us.
Don't let them fight the good fight. We've made great games forever. That conference. And like now,
for sure.
when they're celebrating. So you think about the cycle that Far Cry was in, I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, no. Like, we just need it to sell. Like, we just need.
That's true.
We put it out, make it sell. Like, and you know what? Like, I can't fault them for that, right?
Right.
I mean, your company's
the only way that you can make a game as big and as like with the same this kind of visual fidelity is if you're a company like Ubisoft and you can produce at scale, right? Like, there's no other way to make something like this.
Mm-hmm.
And that just by definition means that you're going to need to. The investment has to return because it's a lot.
Exactly.
And that's it.
And it also means don't piss off the target audience, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, if you're targeting a bunch of people that really like Cabela's, and go to Bass Pro Shop on a regular basis, like, maybe just cut it out. Nope. Look, we have a compound bow in this game. And we need people that have real compound bows to buy this game.
Yeah. Dude, I got to share this tangent real quick, just because it makes me laugh every time I think about it. So the place I work is next to they just built a new Bass Pro Shop. Mm-hmm. And the owner of the company was like, come down to the main hall and participate in this contest. What the contest was, put your hand in a bucket and pull out a gift card. Everybody in the company got a gift card, and it was ranging between like 25 to 500. Dudes balling like that. So I was like, all right, whatever. So I put my hand in, I got $100, and I was like, the fuck do I buy a Bass Pro Shop? Like, I don't know.
A shocking amount of things.
Exactly. So I walked in there and I'm like, oh, good God. They had all kinds of stuff. Like, I walked out of there with 2 nice Nike polos. It was great. But it just made me laugh because I was like, of course we're getting gift cards to Bass Pro Shop. It was great. I'm not complaining. I loved it. If you're watching, boss, but it was just a
great
funny.
time. It was wonderful.
Yeah,
great.
It was just
promotion.
funny.
Really good team building exercise.
Oh yeah, it was great, man. I felt enlightened. I felt connected with my team. All that fun stuff.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
So Far Cry 5 available everywhere. Do you have to buy the whole Uplay thing? Like, is it super invasive like it always has been? Is it still there?
It's probably going to be, well, you definitely, whether you buy it on Steam or not, you're going to have to deal with Uplay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which probably means, what is that? Probably means it also has that anti-piracy DRM.
Denuvo or whatever.
Denuvo, yeah, I think.
Whatever it's called.
That'll probably be correct in the next few weeks, but that doesn't mean it's going to go away.
Right.
But I haven't had a issue with it. It hasn't the game is for the PC version, which I'm using. The port is fantastic.
Nice.
My video card's getting old. It's a 970 that I got a while back, and it runs everything on Ultra pretty much.
Wow, that's good.
So yeah, I haven't had to crank any. Maybe I may have made a few small adjustments, but it looks fantastic and it screams like I'm getting 60 almost all the time. So yes,
it looks great. Also, the last thing I wanted to ask is, so the season pass has been kind of a discussion for a lot of people, like basically saying that you have to buy the season pass. I've heard that. Do you guys know exactly what is in the season pass? Have you read about that? Hurry up and
tell you what, I'm just going to go pull it up really quick. Yeah, I did not buy it, so they do have microtransactions in the game as well. which
Yeah, so basically they basically have 3 like new games for the season pass. It's like,
are they doing like the Blood Dragon thing?
Yeah, it's like a zombie game,
yep.
like you're on Mars thing, and then I think the other one is like Vietnam or something like that. It's like I can't remember exactly, but it's like a jungly sort of environment.
Right.
But
they all kind of have like a pulpy movie kind of look to them.
yeah.
So yeah, like a Lost in Space sort of thing, and then So
People
I have not even
pretty
looked
high
at
on that
this.
season pass.
Yeah.
So
what's the price point at 30?
$30. Yep, $29.99, or your regional equivalent, I guess.
Makes sense.
I think you can get it on Green Man Gaming with the pass for like under $80. I think you can get it for like 70.
That's not bad.
$75 or something like that. So I mean, you can dig and you can find it for cheaper.
Oh, for sure.
So if you like shooting stuff and you like having tons of shit on the screen all the time, Far Cry 5 out now.
Far Cry 5.
Go.
And once I get further into it, I'll probably be able to give you guys a better sort of sense of how it wraps up. But yeah, so far I'm digging it. Even if the story's kind of forgettable, but yeah, good, shooty, fun, dumb, explosions, bears. It's great.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the other thing, I think the other big release of this week, maybe it was a little earlier than Far Cry, I think, was Ni No Kuni 2.
Yep.
And I played the first one. I'm also playing the second one. Did you either guys have you touched this at all? Did you play the first one?
I did not, unfortunately.
So
it looks really cool though.
It looks beautiful. So that's what everybody knows is like they're like, wow, it's gorgeous.
Studio Ghibli.
Exactly.
Yeah, Studio Ghibli was involved in the first one. They're actually not involved in the second one, but the art director from the first game is back. So something like that. There's an art guy that was on the first game that is involved in this one, so it looks beautiful again. It's just gorgeous. Same art style, just as pretty. I don't notice a difference. I am not super long into it. I'm maybe 2-3 hours. It is remarkably different than the first game, though.
Really?
Okay.
So the first game, the combat is kind of like it's like Pokemon. So you have like these familiars, and you sort of like have a turn-based like Pokemon sort of thing.
Right.
That's gone. They just gone.
Gutted
that's out of the game. And actually, I'll be honest, that's actually that combat, although it was the thing that hooked me initially on that game, is the reason I didn't finish the first one, because it was super tedious and super grindy late in the game. Like it took forever to finish that game, and I got like 60 hours into it. I just don't have time for this crap. Like,
damn,
I'm done. Like I'm good. So, maybe it wasn't 60. For some reason, I think every long game is 60 hours. Okay, so it doesn't matter.
That's your peg.
That is how long every game is. So
how long is this game? 60 hours?
60 hours. Yeah, clearly. So. The second one is like real-time combat. Like you have like 3, like it's almost
like Final Fantasy.
Yeah, but more like it's kind of like almost Secret of Mana.
Oh wow!
It's very basic. Like you have like you have a quick one, and then you have like a strong attack, and everybody's different because you have 3 different people. And then you have like magic, and then you can block and you can roll, and that's it. That's all.
Are you switching between the 3, or are you just?
You can switch between the 3.
Oh.
But it's cool. I mean, it has some interesting stuff to it, and like it's got a bar that like you build up, and you can like it's cool because it's called the Zing gauge, which is pretty funny. Again, I'm not super deep into it, so
don't things have like amazingly funny names? Like
everything is named hilarious. Yeah. So yeah, there's like. So instead of the familiars from those games, you have these like weird little elementals. They're called Higglies, and you can like equip them. I don't have a bunch of them yet because I'm super early in the game. But in looking, like there's basically like elemental ones. So there's like a fire one and a water one and whatever. But it is very different. You're like a king. So like the game is based around like a kingdom, like this boy king, and it's like a weird management sim. Like you're like trying to like bring people to the city, and I mean, it's wild. It's a totally different game than the first one. Yeah. Like other than the way it looks, right? and like some menu and UI stuff, it is wildly different. And apparently there's like a strategy piece to it too.
What?
It's a crazy thing. I mean,
How's the music?
It's
music
fantastic.
All right.
Production value of this game it's absolutely like, this is going to be, and I'm going to say this right now, even though like Final Fantasy 15 is going to come out and on the PC, this is the best JRPG that's going to, the way it looks and the way it sounds nothing is going to beat this one. I'm going to tell you right now.
Wow.
Unless you totally hate that art style, this is the prettiest JRPG.
What kind of monster would you be to hate that? Like,
yeah,
exactly. Unless you're just like, I don't like cartoons or something like that.
Yeah, I don't like those people.
It
so
looks
they don't count.
like you are watching like Howl's Moving Castle.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's exactly what it looks like. And there's like a little cat girl. She has little ears, and I mean, it's cool. It's cool. A really neat thing. And I'm super early in it, but it is hella charming, and it'd be so charming to the point where I started playing it, and then the wife just completely took it from me. And, so I have it on the PS4 because this is how I like this kind of game, like in front of a TV, and I could just like sit there, like sitting there playing. I don't know. There's some part of me that's sitting there playing like an RPG, like a really deep, like JRPG on my PC. I just feel too basement dwellery. Like, I don't know. That just I can't do it. Like I have to.
Feels weird.
I don't know. It feels weird. And plus, like my wife likes to watch the stuff, and like she doesn't want to come in my office and like drag a chair, and which also made me lose the game completely. Like it's over.
Nice.
No, I won't get.
Well, we'll ask you to ask her how the game is in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, or I'll just play it on PC and just play it.
Yeah.
And then just be the troll that you. Yeah. Right.
Like you suck at it. I'm better. Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get her hooked on Destiny 2, which will spin her away from it. So
it's not working, or
I got her playing Destiny. She likes it, but
okay.
The problem is all of our friends play on the PS4, so it's the same problem. She's just gonna bogart the PS4, and I'm still screwed.
Yeah.
So
sounds like you need a new PS4.
I'm not buying another one. That would be my third PS4.
Oh, jeez.
Because I bought a normal one.
Yep, same here.
I bought a Pro.
Me too, because I'm dumb.
And this would be a third one, and I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Let's not do that.
Out.
Sony, you got enough of our money.
And I gave away the first one.
Nice guy.
I'm a generous god.
Yeah.
But it's cool. I mean, if you are at all into that, if you liked the first one at all, I think this game, as far as I can tell, I think this is a better game.
Nice.
But if you were really into it for the Pokemon piece, if that was the only piece that you liked, you just don't even bother because it's not
right.
It is not.
It's
that.
gone.
What an amazing pivot, right?
Yeah,
like,
right.
Going from a Pokemon sort of, I don't know, maybe it's more natural than it feels to me, but
it is. The combat is completely different.
That's crazy.
I mean, 100% different. Not like This is not like a different from like Witcher 1 to Witcher 2 different. I mean, this is a completely different combat system. Like
the totally different. Wow.
I mean, this is like Zelda 1 to Zelda 2. Like I mean, wildly different. I mean, because it was turn-based. Every fight, you had your guys and you would like fight their dudes, and it was It's like a turn-based game, and it's not that anymore.
I'm also really interested in the strategy and management layers that they've added. That sounds really. I don't know if you have had a whole lot of time to mess with those yet.
I haven't dug into. I've watched some streams of it though, and it looks interesting. Once I get into it, I'll report back. But yeah, there's like a military battle system in it. So,
that's awesome.
That's great.
And you kind of like move them around, and I don't think it's deep. I think it's very, very light from what I've seen of it. But it's interesting.
It seems like the kind of game that's pretty approachable. I mean, like, would this be a game that like you could enjoy if you were younger, or maybe
this
not,
is like it's definitely one of those games. This could be like the 10-year-old, 11-year-old's first like JRPG.
Nice.
RPG,
yeah, like 12-year-old me would have just
ate it up.
This game up, like
man,
this is the best, because it looks just the way it looks alone. I mean, it's hard for me to say. Like, I mean, look, Far Cry 5 is like a beautiful thing. And like photorealism, this game was like a different kind of beautiful when you look at it. And the first one was 100%. Like that too, to be fair.
Well, see, and Far Cry is the kind of game where 5 years from now, it's going to look like a 2018 game, right?
Right.
And whereas Ni No Kuni or say Night in the Woods, in 5, 10, 20 years, those are still going to look fantastic.
Like Link to the Past. I think Link to the Past is a good example of that. Like Link to the Past still looks beautiful. Or Wind Waker. I think Wind Waker still looks excellent. You know, it's cool. Again, it may like fall off a cliff. I may, you know, I don't think based on other people's reviews that it's going to do that. But it's cool.
It's going to go to Montana and bring up like a religious cult of some kind, and then just totally not follow through it.
I'm gonna get into it. And suddenly they're gonna hand me a compound bow and go to town.
Yeah, here you go.
Go kill 10 bears. Let me.
Yeah. All right. I guess that's what I need to do to get this pouch.
Yeah. So, Hearthstone. You've been playing Hearthstone. Explain to me what? So
what brought you back to Hearthstone?
But what brought? Is it the upcoming expansion? Like, were you looking at the cards?
So. Didn't even realize there was an upcoming expansion. I had one of my buddies, like we were chit-chatting while we were playing Vermintide, and I was talking about Diablo, and he's like, yo, have you played Hearthstone? I'm like, yeah, I played it when it first came out on the iPad, which was, 2-3 years ago? It feels like. I was like, and then I don't know why I just stopped. And I feel like right now, they are up to like 8 expansions or something, and there's a bunch of cards out there, and I was like, I don't think I'll be competitive. Not that I'm trying to win and beat other people, but I thought it was going to be no fun at all if I didn't pay for it. And he's like, no, just jump in and just try it out. So I did, and I don't know what happened, but that game mechanics are great. Like, they're good. They nailed that card game, and to the point where I was like, all right, if I spend $50, what will that get me? But then I did my research. I was like, that won't give me shit. Like, it won't put a dent in what I need. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to play it off and on, get a free pack here or there. I think it might be the loot grind that's in me. Like, I love loot, and that game is basically loot in the form of cards. And there's some pretty badass cards. And when shit starts popping off on the screen, I'm just like, yeah, I did that. Yeah. So I don't know, man. It got me. So I'll be playing that for the next like month or two.
Yeah, the feedback has always been so good. I think it was made for mobile devices, right? Like, just being able to play on iPad or even your phone now. Like, it just flicking the cards around and getting those, like, everything, the animation, the sound, and just the feel. Like, they nailed it. Like, it's a pretty simple game, but I mean, just in terms of Blizzard does that really well. They do that player feedback thing. Probably best in class, I'd say.
The thing that made me like realize that I'm not going to play anymore, I have a buddy at work who's been playing it since beta, like pretty much every day. So he's showing me his cards. He's like, oh, this is oh man, he has his deck. I don't remember the name of it, but basically throughout the game, his goal is to get you to have max of 10 cards in your hand, and then so anything that comes out of either this or out of your pile gets burnt up because you can't have more than 10 cards. And he was like, watch me win this game. So 5 minutes of setup, and then he goes, all right, here he goes. He drops his card. Every time they put a card out, or every time he put a card out, they get their card back, so that gets burnt up. Every time they draw a card, that gets burnt up. Like, the dude died from fatigue, and I was like, that is the most dirtiest. Like, why would you do that? And I was like, I'm not gonna get to that point. Oh, I was mad for the guy who was on the other side.
Card draw. That's amazing.
Oh, it was pretty epic. So that's not me. I'm not gonna get to that point.
I'm that guy because I played Hearthstone in beta, and like I played it all the way through because I was like a big Magic the Gathering guy too. So
yeah,
Hearthstone to me was like, oh, this is Magic. I can
right.
And I was always like, I was the guy playing the dirtiest nonsense.
That's awesome.
I have a pretty good Hearthstone collection that I've spent far too much money on. But the nice part is Hearthstone, in a weird way, the money that you spent a long time ago translates into less money that you spend now in a very good way. You can kind of especially if you only care about playing like standard, which is the newer sets. You can sort of just melt all your old stuff,
nice,
and make new stuff, which is what I do. I kind of like forget it exists for a couple months, and then I'll come back and go, oh yeah, and standard will have changed.
Nice.
Oh, actually, I guess it's like
That's
a year
good.
cycle, and then I just sort of melt all my old shit and then make new stuff.
Cool.
But man, they mastered the like things on screen feeling good, like playing certain cards and it feels good. It hits something in your brain.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like, yeah, it feels
There's
good
that-
to play this guy, you know.
Like the screen shake you get when something thumps down, and
Yep.
just everything, just that on that very, very basic visceral level. It just,
Exactly.
Hearthstone's always felt just the best.
It's good. And I have to be careful with that game because it would suck me back in.
Man.
We'll have to play a couple games of it. I'm down.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we'll play some. Also, they introduced a bunch of single player content since you played it last.
Yeah,
So
that's
like
what I've been playing mostly. That there's like a dungeon run. Like you just go through this the game beating bosses. And the reason I started playing it is because you can use cards that I don't have. So that's pretty fun. I like that. And then there's another one called, it's like Kazir something. I can't even remember the name of it, but it's like $20, and I almost bought it earlier today, but I didn't.
Well, so
Not
all
yet,
the
anyways.
expansions, that's the best part about Hearthstone to me, is that the expansions are like stories. Is like you buy
Yes.
them and you get a whole bunch of single player content with them, which is great.
Yep.
Like it's not just like Magic where you just buy a set and you just have cards. Okay. You know, the only thing
Exactly.
that changes the cards you can play with. It's like they're giving you a bunch of single player content that goes with it.
Right.
Which I guess is necessary to make you feel like you're getting value out of the digital stuff. But
So now Valve's coming out with that game. What's it called?
Yeah,
Awaken or
that's
Rival?
exactly yeah,
Artifacts. So now I'm like, all right, I clearly like card games. I need to get on the ground running. When this one comes out, I'm gonna start from day one, and if I like it, then I'm just gonna stick with it and see what happens.
Yeah, I think we'll play some Artifact.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah,
I have to add an artifact channel to the Discord.
yeah. Well,
Oh, yeah,
I'm-
for
I'm
sure.
sure people will be interested. So
Hell yeah!
I'm definitely going to play that too. And that, did we talk about this last week? But they kind of had a bunch of press over to Steam or to Valve headquarters, and that's, Gabe was saying, we're shipping games again now. We're, enough with this. We're we're back in the game shipping business. So Artifacts apparently going to be the first part of that.
yeah, I mean, he says they're going to make games again, right? Like they're down. So I hope that that's really the case.
Yeah, me too.
I hope that he's not just going to say it because it's true right now.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we shipped a game.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
a
don't know.
liar. We shipped one, and
Yeah.
If you can criticize Gabe for something, it's basically not communicating. I don't think that he's a bullshitter. Like, he would just
agree.
rather not talk, which is what he mostly does.
And I appreciate that.
So yeah.
I think,
So I feel like something.
yeah, I believe him.
Yeah.
What the hell are they going to put out?
Not Half-Life 3.
Yeah,
Probably some
clearly,
VR shit.
and not Left 4 Dead. Right?
No.
I don't think they are going to put out VR shit. I actually
No?
I don't think they're going to put out.
You think they're done with the VR stuff?
I don't think they're making any more VR games.
Man,
Because they did the
lab.
The lab was really cool, and I don't know, it feels like, I don't know. We've talked about VR too, but I almost feel that. And just to reiterate, I think the conversation that we had about it before, it's like that window is kind of closing for the moment.
Yeah.
So,
I think if any company knows whether it's a good idea to make VR games or not, it's Valve.
Right.
They have more data on VR stuff than anybody, and all of the external data says don't make a VR game. It's a bad idea. Unless it's for the PSVR, and even then,
yeah.
So,
Iffy.
I mean, Fallout 4 sold pretty well. I haven't looked into Skyrim yet.
Yeah, me either.
Sales numbers wise, but I don't think it did as well. Right? I would be surprised.
I mean, how many times has that game been released? Like,
There's got to be 7 or 8 editions of Skyrim.
right?
And
Like, geez,
how many different SKUs can one game have?
they're going for the record.
I'm going
Yeah.
to tell you though, I thought the same thing, But if you play Fallout 4 in VR, it is a different thing. It is a
Are you serious?
completely different experience. Because I could not stand Fallout 4 when it released. I played it for like 20 or 30 hours, and I said, this game is shit. I proclaimed it shit. I was like, this is not a good game. The gunplay is not good. You know, the building I don't give a crap about. Like, it just gets in my way.
That really, I liked it, but I also wandered away from it probably around that same point, 20 or 30 hours. I could not care less about the colony management.
When I say it's shit, I don't mean like this is a like 4.0 game, right? I don't mean that, but I mean like you made Fallout New Vegas as your last Fallout game, and then you're gonna make this. Like this is your follow up to that. Like, and I understand like there's different things, but like Fallout is Fallout, and this is like it'd be like if you made Modern Warfare and then released like I don't know, just a horrific Call of Duty game, because they didn't do that, right? Like they made Modern Warfare,
World at War,
and then they made World at War was good. World at War
was it?
World at War is actually the one that still gets played. So
really,
yeah, because that game is awesome. Don't.
Oh my god!
I never got a chance.
You're opening a can of worms. You're opening.
I'm not doing that.
Don't come at me on World at War.
And we're live too. I'm not doing that.
I'm gonna. I'll get wild on you. I'm ready.
I believe you. I'm good.
I'm telling you, Fallout 4 in VR is a completely different experience. It is. It was the first VR game that when I played it, I said I would play 60 hours of this in VR, and I did.
Damn.
I played 60 hours of it in VR, and it was. And honestly, most of it, like I don't think I got that much further in the story. It was like me wandering around, like shooting rad roaches and shit.
But that's kind of what you want to do in VR.
Exactly.
Right? Exactly. Like I'm gonna sum up my Fallout 4 VR experience. Okay, I'm in a building, and I am fighting super mutants, and there are like 10 super mutants, and I can hear them coming down the hall. Right. And I can hear them, and so the door in front of me is closed, and I hear one in front, and I hear a whole bunch to my left. So I like kick open the door, like with the trigger, right? I trigger open the door, and there's a guy in front of me, and I just blast him like with my pistol. Bam, 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 bam. And while I am shooting him, I am such an idiot that I trigger and close the door, right?
Ooh.
And I blow a hole in the door and kill him through the door, right? So I'm like, shit, like, okay. So now I'm like, what do I do with these guys that are coming? And I can hear these dudes like coming down the hall, and I'm like, no health, I have nothing, I'm just so fucked. So I can hear them coming down the hall, and I go, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try to like grenade them, right? So I hold a grenade out, and I'm like, I'm gonna get them, and I'm like, but how am I? And I'm like trying to figure out like, because I'm being careful. This is relatively early. Like, how do I get the door open? So I'm trying to make sure I don't fuck the door up and kill myself. So I have this grenade, and then I go, wait a second, and I just shove my hand through the door, at the hole in the door, and throw the grenade down the hallway, and it goes, I hear
that worked?
Tink, 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 boom, and like dudes like fly past me.
Oh,
and I'm
wow.
That is the coolest thing I think I've ever heard.
And I go, holy shit, this is awesome.
Oh man.
Like, that's when I was hooked. I was like, this is the coolest experience I've ever had.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
It is something else. And,
man.
But there's no other. The problem is like that and Skyrim are like the only ones that are like that. And you have nothing else. Maybe Resident Evil. But
to circle back on the VR window closing, I was and on Ars Technica, I think, and in order to get the new Vive Pro, which is their new headset that is either out or is coming out soon, if you don't have anything, you have the computer. Let's say you have the computer, you got the thing that's going to run the system. It's going to cost $1,250 to get the entire setup. And I was like, what are they doing?
Yeah, I said
like,
it's $1,300. I was like,
they are taking a huge step back. Like, nobody's going to pay that.
Other companies are going to fill that void. Don't worry about the
hardware. I hope so.
The hardware is not the issue. The hardware is fine. Okay, it's expensive and whatever, but if the games are good, people will buy the hardware. Because I'm telling you put a Vive on, and you don't put the Vive on and go, "This is a piece of crap."
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's not like remember when you put a Virtual Boy on for the first time? You're like,
"Oh yeah,
this is a piece of shit." Like, I am not happy.
Yeah.
I won't talk shit about World of War. Don't talk shit about Virtual Boy.
Virtual Boys.
I got one right over here. I'm
convinced the Virtual Boy is why my eyesight's bad.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, that's why I'm wearing glasses now because of the Virtual Boy. But
three
shooting lasers
people.
directly into your eyes. Yeah.
3 people on this podcast. All of us have terrible vision. All of us had Virtual Boys.
All of us played Virtual Boy.
Coincidence?
Coincidence?
No,
I'm just saying. I mean,
Nintendo owes us money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need LASIK now. Thanks.
VR is real. They just have to release software for it. If there were more games,
Yeah.
I'm
We're at the
right
Tesla phase, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, for
that
sure.
$1,300, I'd give it to you right now. Like,
Ooh.
if you put out 10 AAA games, I would be like, okay. Just like I would.
Far Cry 5 in VR would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
That'd be nuts.
The other thing is, it can't always just be a fucking shooter, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's all we know how to make right now is shooters. That's it. Everything is a shooter, and like, it's Fallout's a shooter, Skyrim's a shooter. Like, we can't do anything else, and
exactly,
they're gonna have to figure out something other than a shooter. Even like some of the other good VR experiences that I had, like Talos Principle, it's just a shooter. It's just a slow one, right? It's just real slow. So figure out how to make it a different game.
Yeah.
Driving stuff maybe, but driving stuff. We had a conversation about driving stuff last week.
Yeah, I think we're good on it.
I heard Moss was really good.
Oh yes,
The little mouse.
I heard that as well. I wish that
I haven't had a chance to try it.
On.
Yep, but that's supposed to be really, and that's kind of a different concept. You're sort of standing like you would be over a tiny little mouse character, so that instead of the first-person perspective, it's kind of. Well, I mean, it is first person because you've got a headset strapped to your face, but the action's kind of taking place in front of you rather than from your point of view. So
yeah, that's definitely on my list. Like, I'm gonna pick that one up soon. As soon as I get back into the VR mindset, that's one of the first games I'm gonna start playing.
Yeah, get me in there. VR is sweet.
Yeah,
cool. I'm telling you, if you got the money, get in there. It's
true.
Cool. Well, anything else, guys? You got any news you want to talk about other than like Twitch streamers being idiots and like total morons? Like, unlike anything, we've seen that before.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah, possibly the least surprising news.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Like, the streamer says some dumb shit.
Yeah, surprisingly, the top streamer said some dumb things when he was live.
Yeah, just because
I was talking
get a stream with
just
Drake
last week.
does not mean
just
you
last
get a
week
pass.
On this cast, I was like, he seems like he's got a head on his shoulder.
Exactly. Everybody said that last week.
He was on CNN. Wow, he seems so professional. And then
I think that's what I'm sure that if we rolled the tape back, I'd probably say, it sounds like a really genuine nice guy.
Yeah.
But, no. Anyway,
I mean, you know what? Like, he's just a dumb kid. That's what I just remember. He's just an idiot kid. And he just doesn't know any better. And
unfortunately.
Yeah. Any other news? Anything else notable that we should probably talk about? I can't really. It's been a lot.
Besides Far Cry 3, it's been or Far Cry 5. I don't know where the 3 came from. It's been kind of light.
Week,
so, yeah.
So if you're going to be at PAX, come and see me. I'll be there.
Yeah. There's going to definitely be stuff to talk about next week.
Hell yeah.
The PAX is, there'll be stuff. So PAX is going to be interesting. This is the first time I've been working in a video game booth, so that's going to be.
I can't wait to hear that story.
Yeah. I'm going to tell people how to be bad at Divinity because I'm terrible at it.
Wait, you got to teach them how to play?
I mean, I'll be somehow involved with Divinity. So I don't know exactly. Probably, though, they'll be like, all right, sit down and play through this combat. And they'll be like, all right, so we got these T-shirts over here. And we're going to need you to play those. You can sell those T-shirts right here, And,
sell all these, please. Thanks.
Yeah. If you could never touch the video game again, just don't.
Right? Like, but I was just warming up, guys. Can I get another chance? No? Okay.
But it's also I haven't been to PAX in a long time, so I'm excited to see how it's changed. A lot more people, from what I understand.
Yeah, for sure.
Huge. Yep. I mean, the last one I was at was PAX Prime 2016.
Damn, I was like, mine's probably 08.
Yeah, I'm like in the 20. I'm in the singles. I think it's 2009 or 08. Like around there. So
yeah, they're big. They're big. I've never been to the one in Boston, so I can't really have anything to compare that to. But
yeah,
no, PAX is great. So have
Cool
a good time, buddy.
Yeah, man, have fun.
should be good. Anything else you guys got coming up? Or are we done?
I think that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
All
I
right.
say we this virtual talking to each other wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, it's fine. It's the same. All right, like
Yeah.
it's easy.
Yeah.
So if for those who listen only to the podcast, you can actually or on to the listening. Like if you subscribe on iTunes and you never actually go to the website, we're doing a video version, so you'll actually be able to check it out and you can see our wonderful faces.
Yay.
And my haunted ass room.
Yeah, I think I can see like the girl from The Ring, like basically in the back there.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something.
Actually,
but
yeah, I put her under the bed, but she'll probably be out in a minute.
Okay, can we wrap this up so I
Yeah.
don't see that shit?
All
Cool.
done. Okay. All right. So, Ian, if you are not slain by the monster in your room, where can they find you if they want to hear more?
I'm at iBoudreau on Twitter, and you can find all my relevant information from there. So,
Great.
iBoudreau.
Sweet. And Jermaine, what about you, buddy?
You can find me on Twitch at Kryptinite, and everything is on my channel page as far as social media goes. So you can follow and like and subscribe and all that fun stuff.
You can also find me at Michael __Benson on Twitter, and just Michael